Novo Nordisk Director for Clinical, Medical, Regulatory, and Pharmacovigilance, Dr. Nestle Hazel Buenabobis. Dr. Nestle, the floor is yours.
Yes, good afternoon po. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. The video that you saw earlier is really speaks so much of the purpose of why we exist. So it's really who we are today as a company, but I'm also a fan of history. I think there's so much value in knowing where you came from, to know how you will move forward. And so I'm tasked today to actually share with you a little bit of history of Novo Nordisk as a company. So we actually started since 1923, so that's more than a century ago. And believe it or not, it actually started as a love story. So the two people that you see here are actually our founders. So this is Professor August Krogh. He's a scientist, and then beside him is actually his wife, who's a doctor, Dr. Marie Krogh. And in the 1920s, when you actually get a diagnosis of diabetes, so Dr. Marie Krogh actually was diagnosed with diabetes at this time. So in the 1920s, if you get that diagnosis, it's actually a death sentence for many patients because there were really no treatment options. A lot of them would literally be put on a treatment of starvation because they want to limit the calorie intake, and that somehow prolongs the life. You know? So when they first got wind of this new medical discovery in Canada called insulin, and I'm sure many of us are already familiar with the treatment option of insulin for patients with diabetes, they quickly tried to find a way. So August Krogh, with the love for his wife, he wanted to quickly get to this medicine and bring it back to Denmark and to the rest of the Scandinavian countries to be able to manufacture this, not only to save his own wife's life, but also for the rest of the patients in Denmark. Okay? And as they say, the rest is history. We have been innovating for the past 102 years. We started with diabetes. We continue to supply most of the world's insulin today, and we have developed so much more different therapy options for patients. So this is who we are. Fast forward to 2025, we are present in 80 countries. We have offices in 80 countries with about 77,000 employees globally. Now this is coming from our annual report, investors report, and what you can see here is that these are a lot of different numbers. We've definitely come a long way from starting with animal insulin and human insulin to once being hailed as among the top 3 most valuable pharmaceutical companies globally. We have started with diabetes, but we have ventured out to other disease areas. So rare diseases like hemophilia. We've also ventured into cardiovascular therapy areas. And we've also pioneered for the past couple of decades when it comes to obesity treatment. Now, if there's one number that I'm super proud of as a physician here, it's actually the number 45 million. So last year, we were able to at least serve more than 45 million patients globally. Now, pag inisip po natin 45 million, that's quite a big number, right? It's something that we can be proud of to be able to serve that many patients. But ambitious po kami, and we want to be able to really create a good legacy for the patients that we serve. And knowing the biggest disease areas po, when you talk about the number 1 killer globally, it remains to be cardiovascular disease. So it's the same for the Philippines, it's ischemic heart disease based on the latest PSA 2023 data. So this reflects so much of what more we can do for patients when it comes to tackling the world's contributor when it comes to mortality and morbidity. Now, makikita niyo po dito, our main topic for today is obesity. And they are projecting that by 2030, we actually have number of patients globally will be crossing 1 billion. So, alam niyo po yung world population, where I think we're looking at around 8 billion now in terms of global population. So, ang dami po talagang patients who will be inflicted with this disease. And kapag ganito kalaki yung burden, we all want to be able to really address it and nip it at the bud. So currently, what we do know in terms of obesity as a disease is that it's been linked to more than 200 other diseases. So that's affecting practically every organ system, and it should be affecting every medical specialty. Because not only cardiovascular disease, but I'm sure you're familiar with hypertension, yung mataas po yung cholesterol, with dyslipidemia, masakit yung tuhod. So a lot of different diseases are actually linked and associated with obesity. So we want to be able to address this. And if the burden and the problem is as huge as that, we want to bring in fellow collaborators and partners such as yourself to make sure that the right information is delivered out there. So more than 100 years na po kami, 102 to be exact this year. And we want to continue to drive change. But I really wanted to at least end with this slide because I know I'm talking to fellow communicators and content creators po. So I think that's a big currency now of the world today. With all of the talk on AI, they say that communication remains to be one of the most valuable skills that you can have, even with the advent of AI. So for me, I really do believe in making sure that we have the right communication. Currently, the story of obesity stands that energy balance lang siya. Whatever is calorie in, calorie out. So energy intake, energy expenditure. But actually, that's only a small part of the whole story of obesity. It's much more complex than what we know today. And we invite you to actually share with us to make sure that the narrative is right when we go out there and talk to fellow patients or maybe to just the general public to make sure that we are more aware and empowered when you talk about obesity care. And with that, we welcome you to this event, and I give you over now to our lecturer to learn more about obesity. Thank you so much.